haven't seen much anime in a while, so I decided to watch every anime in alphabetical order, using my anime list database. So join me as we discover the good, the bad, the weird and the hidden gems. In this episode, but it's technically not incest, I don't have an art degree like that, it's just incredibly boring. A baby is set out alone into the void of space by his parents during an attack on their transport ship. Eventually he lands on a planet and is adopted by a royal family of beings that can transform into anything they want using a special ring. He grows up as a prince and later discovers his origins. With this, he's sent out to learn more of where he came from. 1 Million Year Trip Bender Book is a 1.5 hour movie from 1978 and is made by Tezuka Productions. This movie follows Bender, who as a baby was put into an escape pod during an attack, which killed his parents. Floating in space for a while, he eventually lands on a planet, with beings that can shapeshift. He was found by a queen on the planet, so he grew up as a prince. Bender can shapeshift like everyone else, so he knows that he's from a different planet. He and his sister eventually find the escape pod with a message from his parents. This is sent to him via telepathy. This message tells him that he's from Earth, which is bad, since the humans from Earth are all savages, who go to every planet to wage war and take all their resources. After the scene, his adopted parents find out that he found the escape pod, but because he got via telepathy, they don't know what the message actually said. This would have been a decent plot point, but the scene immediately after, his sister says that it doesn't matter that he's from Earth and that she still loves him all the same. Which, two things. We go from a scene where they don't know what the message was to immediately all the characters knowing without any build up or another scene where he tells them. And the second thing, you did hear me right, Bender and his sister love each other in the incest kind of way, but it's technically not incest because they aren't blood related, so it's fine, right? And honestly, this is just scratching the surface of this movie. You would think with the message that he also came to know, for example, his real name, but they refer to him as Bender too. So both his parents and adoptive parents named him Bender, which is a very nice coincidence. After this, the planet gets attacked by Earth, and while everyone runs away, both Bender and his sister stay behind to keep them away, though they get captured and taken as prisoners. While on the ship, Bender's sister goes missing, and the boss tells him that if she went into the trash compactor that she's dead, and the scene just ends. You don't really get to know if she actually died or not, and Bender doesn't seem to care either, since he continues to set out to find more about Earth and where he came from. I honestly can go on and on since so many scenes are like this, but I don't think you want to hear all of that. The animation of this movie feels off, while the design of all the animals and characters is actually pretty good. A lot of the movement feels what I can only describe as bursty. As in, some of the animations go at normal speeds, but there are also points where it goes very quickly. There's also a moment where they literally overlay real fire on top of the animation. Pacing wise, this movie feels as well on. Important story beats go by very fast, where it just feels like it's skipping scenes, while cinematic shots go by super slowly. The worst offender of this kind of filler is halfway through the movie. Bender is captured again and put into a jail cell with a doctor from Earth. While in there, Bender asks the doctor to tell him more about Earth and its history. And I kid you not, he basically tells the entire history. This doctor also made a thing called the power of fear, an important part of the story, but it's never explained as to why he made something like that. This movie fails on so many fronts, with awful pacing issues, weird animation, and story beats that either go by way too quickly or are never explained. It almost gets into the realm of the so bad it's good, but there aren't that many funny moments. In my notes I only wrote down two. First one is the scene where Bender and the main villain guy are fighting. Bender usually uses swords, but he gets his hands on a gun, which the villain says the classic line of "You don't have it in you to shoot me." Bender doesn't and drops the gun, but afterwards charges towards the dude and tries to beat him up. The other one is, they made a computer with tits. Basically, Earth is overtaken by a giant AI computer, which they call Mother. And of course, because female, they have to show that by giving it boobs. Those are really the only bits of bad. The rest is just frustrating or boring, since it's the fundamentals that are bad, not specific scenes or character logic. The later half of the movie is also a convoluted mess, since they introduce time travel in it. And a story that can't even get pacing right, I'm sure you can imagine how bad that gets. This is a very upbeat song and is about the friends and bonds you make, basically telling you to enjoy every moment of your life, and it really delivers on that feeling. Man-kai Umarekawattemo means even if I'm reborn a million times, and is made by the artist Graeldon. The song is a fusion of pop and rock. The music video has nice art and animation, though for the most part it doesn't enhance the song, but it does complement it. Overall I like the song. The happy and upbeat tone of it definitely brightens you up. It's just that the music video isn't very memorable for me. This song is the 11th ending of the anime Umarekawattemo, though not the one from the previous episode. This is the one from the series that started in 1995. This ending theme started from episode 851 in April of 2012. It was made by Keisuke Kawata, and honestly it's a pretty decent ending theme. Only thing I'm not a fan of was the brief auto-tune after the second chorus. I thought it didn't really fit the song. The music video is okay, the animation isn't anything flashy and pretty basic, but it does what it's supposed to do. Hyokunen Jidai is made with inspiration of the phrase 100-year era and is also the name of the song. The description of the song says that it's a phrase that was getting popular a few years back from 2020. I've never heard of it before, so I honestly don't really know what it means. Something about a negative image of the future. The song itself is okay. It's upbeat, but I don't really find it memorable. Same with the music video. It was made by Harumi Oki for a 5-minute music program called Mina no Uta. This song was featured on the program between December 2020 and January 2021 on the NHK. This program does seem quite popular, since it's been ongoing since like 1961, with having aired more than 1600 songs. Hyokunen Jidai can be found on YouTube, though it's a shorter version with Harumi talking at the end. The full version can be found on streaming platforms, though the song is barely 2.5 minutes long, so there isn't too much. Quite often you hear the question, what would you do if you had X amount of days left to live? But what if you didn't know it? This anime movie tries to explore that concept. A Crocodile Who Lived for 100 Days is a 1 hour and 2 minute movie made by Studio Toho Interactive Animation. It follows an unnamed crocodile that, as the title says, only has 100 days left to live, but this is unknown to everyone. They go about their days as if there is nothing wrong, but with a terrible thing on the horizon. I really wish I had good things to say about this movie, but I really don't. The biggest issue with it is that it's just incredibly boring. It follows the lives of everyone, but they are portrayed as normal everyday people. And as you know, the average person's life is not really that interesting. The characters themselves do have depth to them. There are, for example, super awkward scenes where the main character confesses to another crocodile. And I'm sorry if I'm super vague with it. All the characters don't have names, it's just crocodile, dog, mouse. So I can't really call them anything else. These awkward scenes are there on purpose, to show character depth, but also because awkward scenarios just happen. At the halfway point, the title of the movie comes to light. The main character dies during a car accident. The scene of this happening is also partly at the start, though now with more context of all the characters. But the emotional impact of it just isn't there. The moment of the accident itself isn't shown at all, while it was at the start, and definitely would have had more impact if it was repeated and added to, but these moments are skipped over. During this time I even questioned if it happened or not, since it was so confusing. And like I mentioned, it isn't added to. You don't see the reaction of the characters, no funeral. The only thing that changes is that it's raining and all the characters are quiet, and that's it. But this is only the halfway point. He died, so what happens next? Worse things happen, and not in the way that you think. A new character is introduced, just called Frog. He just moved to the city and is basically an almost copy of the crocodile, with almost the same personality but not quite. The not quite bit is the worst part, since he is loud and super annoying. It honestly ruined the whole second half for me. Since the frog is an almost copy of the crocodile, the friends need to confront their grief and accept that the accident happened. While the movie has good ideas, it just doesn't execute them well, making the characters just ordinary people really sets it back since it becomes super boring. And while the title implies that there's some shocking and upsetting moments, it doesn't deliver on them. I can be a pretty emotional person, but this did nothing for me. The movie was adapted from a manga, originally a web manga with the same name, though the latter half of the movie is original, which was added to have a conclusion to the story. It doesn't really seem like that part was well received, so if you're curious about the story, maybe check out the manga. After this entry is one related to it. A commercial for Bourbon. Unfortunately not the alcoholic drink, but some type of biscuit or a chocolate brand. The commercial is 15 seconds long, which is 15 seconds too long. Why is this on Mal? Similar to Even If I'm Reborn a Million Times from a few entries ago. Man-kai Hug Nanda is an upbeat and feel-good song about remembering the great days you had with friends and hoping they go on forever. And with the music video, this honestly shows. The song together with the video immediately puts you in a good mood. The music video is made by Cloverworks and Mappa, and they really nailed it. With great visuals and character design. Even without dialogue, you pretty much know what the personalities are of each of the characters. On its own though, the song is a little underwhelming, with only a runtime of about 1.5 minutes out of the 3. But the video enhances it greatly. It's not a music video you come back to for the song, but more for the video itself.
みんな死ぬしかないの? ラメタルが体当たりしてくるのを黙ってじっと見てるしかないっていうの？ねえ、お願いだから何か助かる方法教えてよ。
The year is 1999, and Dr. Amori of the Tokyo Observatory has an alarming discovery. An icy planet called Lar Metal is on a crash course to Earth. Sen and Joou, Queen Millennia, is a 2-hour movie made in 1982 by Toei Animation. Originally adapted from a manga called Shin Takatoru Monogatari, Sen and Joou, made by Matsumoto Reichi, the same author who made Galaxy Express 999. In the movie we follow Yukino Yayoi, a high school teacher. She also helps Dr. Amori in Tokyo Observatory. And here's the alarming news from him, that the planet Lar Metal will crash into Earth in 180 days. While this is alarming, it makes Yukino even more worried, because she has a secret. She is actually from Lar Metal, her real name being Prometheum II, sent out to Earth as Queen Millennia to guard over Earth for 1,000 years. Every 1,000 years a new Queen Millennia is sent to Earth. This is the only time that the inhabitants of Lar Metal are awake. They call this period their spring, but now they are set out on a pretend crash course to Earth, betraying Yukino, and plan to wipe out mankind so they have their eternal spring. The movie isn't perfect, with quite a lot of cinematic shots that could have been made shorter, but that honestly didn't prevent me from enjoying it. The animation and character designs were nice. I quite like the design of Yukino. I don't know what it is, but I think her design is very pretty. The characters were alright. The spotlight is really only set on Yukino and Hajime, but they both were enjoyable, though there are a few questionable moments, like Hajime flying a fighter aircraft in a very advanced time period, even though he's supposed to be either an elementary or high school student. I'm unsure which exactly. The sound design for the movie fits very well, with great sci-fi and space-esque sound effects. Though there aren't that many standout tracks, the overall music score was good. It's a solid movie, there aren't any standout moments, but it's also not one that will bore you, so I do recommend it. From the things I can gather, this is based on a collection of Arabic folklore. In the English side of the world it's mainly known as the Arabic Nights. This specific avant-garde art piece was made by Amano Yoshitake. This art piece is a very complex one, being already adapted from a complex story, but the way it tries to tell this story is like that as well, with 3 different aspects, those being visuals, music and emotion. And honestly, they were pretty good. They're good on their own, but they don't support each other very well. People often jokingly say for certain things that you need a degree to be able to stand it. And yeah, this is one of them. I don't have an art degree like that, and I didn't really know what it was about. My assumption while watching it was wrong, since I thought it was more related to dreaming and nightmares. I didn't know anything about the Arabic Nights before this, mind you. Reviews for this movie are all over the place, with people praising the visual symbolism and expression of it, while others are turned off by the incoherence of the piece. A piece of art can be targeted towards a specific audience. I'm just someone looking from the outside in, so it's unfair to say that I didn't understand the symbolism, while at the same time it's also unfair to tell people on the inside that their opinion is wrong because I didn't understand it. And my take on the story is that 1001 Nights doesn't tell the story of the Arabic Nights very well. And it's incredibly boring, even if the visuals are pretty. There's only one music track, and while it's 23 minutes long, it very quickly just becomes background noise because it doesn't have much variety. There are also no sound effects, so certain scenes with action feel very empty. The movie is very expressive in its emotion, but with a difficult story to follow, these emotions don't mean anything. Give it a try if you like avant-garde art pieces with symbolism, but if you don't or don't even know how to approach something like it, don't bother. There are also some sections with quite a lot of flashing lights, so if you're sensitive to that, I'd skip out on this one as well. This is a 3-minute stop-motion video made by Yashiro Takeshi, who seems to have done quite a few other stop-motion animations. This specific one is about a boy waking up in the morning to find that it had snowed, with a little surprise once he looks out of the window. Some birds line up with sticks acting as music notation, and he starts singing the melody to Happy Birthday. It's a cute little stop-motion animation. It's nothing special, but it's still well done. So if you have 3 minutes to spare, maybe give it a watch.
なんだよ、タダはちゃんとガンガを助けたじゃんか。
ただ、お前はこの船に乗ったことがあるな。
こんな船に乗ったのは初めてだ。
Picture this, you just passed part of the entrance exam to a highly prestigious cosmic academy. For the next test, 10 of you are sent to a giant spaceship that is stranded in the orbit of a planet. Once everyone has boarded the ship, you suddenly realize there's an 11th person. This is Ju Ichinin Iru, a 1.5-hour shoujo movie made in 1986 by Studio Magic Bus. It was adapted from the manga with the same name by Hagio Moto, who basically shaped shoujo manga. The movie follows Lane Tadados, He's part of the original group of 10, and with everyone they try to find out who the 11th person is, but to no avail. The exam starts and their task is to stay on the ship, called the Esperanza, for 53 days, without any outside communication. The only exception is an alarm button in case of an emergency, though pushing this will fail their exam. Honestly, these type of sci-fi stories are my jam. The way these stories explore mystery, character conflict and tense moments, I absolutely love them. A recent example of a story like this is Kanta no Astra, with a similar type of concept, where a bunch of people are stuck inside a spaceship in the orbit of an unknown planet. They Were 11 explores a similar concept, but a more artificial way with the exam. Since everyone has their own reason to get into the Cosmic Academy, no one wants to fail it, even if there's suddenly an 11th person with them. Though the tension is still high as to who this person is, and this naturally creates conflict with everyone the moment something goes wrong. And there is, though not as much as you think. It's a plot point that's in focus at the start of the movie, but past the halfway point things start to take a turn. The spaceship is in the orbit of a planet and slowly the sun rises from behind it. This sun is a scorching blue star, so the more it rises the hotter it gets in the ship, though the ship holds more secrets than initially seems. There are several other key moments that happen throughout the movie, but to prevent spoilers I won't mention them here. The movie overall was decent, though there are some aspects to it that did hold it back. The whole mystery of the 11th person isn't really explored too much, and there aren't really any hints to who could it be. I thought the romance between Tada and Fro was a bit forced as well. There were only a few others that got some character depth to them, but that's expected from a movie. It just doesn't have the time to give the spotlight to 11 characters. One aspect of the movie can be a turn off for some. There is some mention of gender identity, and for a movie that's from the late 80s, that's quite commendable. The only issue is, with a lot of early works that explore this, it hasn't aged very well. It was still an enjoyable watch, the same way with the Queen Millennia movie. It isn't groundbreaking, but it's enjoyable enough to give it a watch. These 11 cats are on a mission to catch the biggest fish. Hearing a fairy tale from the grandparent, they set out on an adventure. Joou no Neko is a 1 hour and 23 movie made in 1980, and I can kinda compare it to Joou no Kaeru from the previous episode, only that it took the worst parts of it. Their adventure starts out well, but eventually the cats get tired and can't go on anymore. A fight breaks out about it and they split up and go their own way. This is a very predictable plot point where you see each cat struggle on their own. Eventually this leads them back together and they continue on the mission. There are some other struggles that happen with the terrain, going from a scorching desert to a blizzard in the high mountains. They honestly aren't really worth mentioning since all of it really feels like filler. During their adventure a lot of song segments are mixed in as well. These aren't really that good and not really memorable. While on their adventure they also get to a different lake with these fruits. And well, I didn't really expect this to be in this kind of movie, but those fruits are basically hallucinogens and they get high off them for a while. The movie is kind of a slog to get through, honestly. It dragged out pretty long and the cat characters aren't really that good either. If you want a fun animal themed anime, go watch Joou no Kaeru from the previous episode and skip out on this one. The next entry is a TV special called Joou no Neko Marathon Taikai. This special is kind of an oddball since it's more like a TV picture book. It's basically stills from one of the picture books from Joou no Neko, but over music and some sound effects. The illustrations are actually really nice, with all kinds of details everywhere. Did it need to be made into a TV special? No, not really. You can buy the picture book itself and basically have the same experience. The 11 cats are back in town and they opened up a croquette shop. This is the only food store the town has, so it gained popularity extremely quickly, making it accessible for everyone to get their food easily. This is the sequel movie Joou no Neko to Ahoudori, released in 1986. While this is technically a sequel movie, it can be watched standalone as well. My anime list synopsis isn't correct for this movie, by the way. This is the plot to the previous one. They go on an adventure with an albatross in the second movie. While the food is accessible, everyone in town gets tired of eating croquettes for every meal, including the 11 cats, until an albatross comes to visit them to try the food. He absolutely loves it and asks if the cats want to come to his village to make the croquettes for everyone there. They agree and set out in a hot air balloon and go on a long journey to the albatross's village. This movie was surprisingly quite a bit more enjoyable than the previous one, though I wasn't able to find it in its original format, since I only found a German dub of it. It was still surprisingly good. The movie wasn't overrun with mediocre songs. There were about 2 of them, instead of like 5 from the previous movie. They were also sung in German. The adventure itself was, wouldn't say more exciting, just more interesting. While it was still average at best, it wasn't boring or very predictable. Give it a watch if it looks like something you'd enjoy. You don't have to watch the previous movie for it, so you can jump into this one immediately. Before you go into comments and tell me I misspelled the title, I didn't. It's actually called 112 Sabsection of Skyline. This is an ONA music video made by Ohashi Takashi. It shows birds on electrical wires. These wires are in the form of a music sheet. Each bird is set to the chords and melody of the song in the background. It's mixed up later by showing balloons as percussion and some other bird species for the melody. It's a neat little video, but doesn't really do anything special. It also seems like the creator intended it to be a teaching tool to show how music notation, melody and chords are made. 1135 is a music video made by VTuber Sakura Miko from Hololive. The song is, I think, a message to her fans to tell them she appreciates them. I'm honestly unsure, but reading the lyrics, there are some of those aspects in there. The song is pretty nice with a great music video, blending in 2D, 3D and real life shots very well. The title of the song is also a reference to how 1135 can be said as Ii Miko, which is just good Miko in Japanese. I thought that was a fun tidbit. This short ONA is made by Sae Okamoto, a director of Thrift Studio. It's 2 minutes in length and just about a guy daydreaming about some weird creatures set to upbeat music. It was made in 2012 and the animation of it isn't too great. Not because of how it flows, but mostly that the quality is pretty low. The creatures themselves are kinda disconnected from the scene as well. I'm not sure if it's on purpose since the guy is daydreaming, but it looks like they are just put on top of the scenes since they don't blend in very well. The music is fine, just don't put the volume on too loud, otherwise you get jump scared by it. Like basically everyone in the comments, including myself. It's not really worth the effort to search for and watch it. Even if it's only 2 minutes long, you're not missing much. Thank you for making it to the end. In the next episode, we're gonna see our first hentai. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and let me know in the comments what you thought of all the anime.